Blessed love, my brothers and sisters. Blessed love. Yeah, so I've taken a bit of a sabbatical. I needed to just rest and eat and sleep, and just take a little step back, because the magnitude of this thing. Every day I open my inbox, it's just piled higher with more names and more victims and more people, mainly from the Brixton area. We've got a whole thing going on over in Northwest London and a whole thing going on over in East London as well. So we're going to get to that. But really right now I want to concentrate on Rat, his cronies, his associates, the apples that don't fall far from the tree. And I want to concentrate on that. I want you to join me live here on Monday, the 12th of July at 7 p.m. at Afro Rose 69, because we've got some very serious conversations to take place. I want to talk about and build on some of those names that we called out on the last live, yeah? I want to go into more detail about them kind of dirty man. You understand? Because we got man like Eamon Edwards, Victor Lindsay, yeah? Carl Lewis, I do believe, same name as the runner, another one of them. And Sir Lloyd, yeah? I want to talk about that, because right now, black women have had enough, yeah? We romanticize about the Windrush, brothers and sisters. We romanticize about that all the time, and we love our community. We love our elders. We love the Windrush and what made us as a community. But there was a nasty dark side that was imported over with the Windrush, yeah, that really hasn't ever been spoken about. There was something that was imported with the Windrush that has affected a whole generation of women. It came over with our grandfathers and our fathers from the plantation. We know what it is. We know what caused it. But the fact of the matter is it came over, and those men brought it over with them. It was imported with the Windrush, and they terrorized their daughters and their granddaughters. Do you understand? And the mothers and the grandmothers hid that through shame, through pride, and everything else that goes with our community. That wall of silence that goes with our community. It was hidden. It was hidden. Yeah? So many people are bawling out. Not my dad, not my uncle, not my brother, not my husband. Yeah? But we don't know these predilections and these perversions that these brothers carried over with them and brought out into the first and second generation, because it's still going on. I've had so much information that's coming when I should have been resting. But every so often, I would kind of flick through the messages, and I'd see one that jump out at me and say, no, I'm not looking at that right now. It's too deep. It's too deep. I've gone back through the messages now, and the level that is coming out, my brothers and sisters, there's one thing that's vexing me more than anything else right now. And all I can say at this moment, yeah, I'm going to wait until we are gathered as a community before I tell you what it is, the legacy that this nasty man named Rat has left behind, and all the other people that operated like him in the Brixton area, in the South London area, all those that were hanging out at Ebony House and Shirley Oak, and when it was coming like ends, all you workers, yeah, that should have been social workers and youth workers that was allowing this kind of behavior. The Arthur's never been told about Shirley Oak and Ebony House, yeah? They indicted all the white paedophiles who were working there at the time up higher in the system, but they never really brought it down to the street, because there was a whole scene taking place in these institutions around Lambeth. And it isn't just the man them, it's also Brixton police, or the police officers that were operating in that way at that time. Yeah, I can't indict the whole force, and I wouldn't at the end of the day. But what I will say is that there was a lot of bent cops. People's places used to get raided. Certain people never got touched. The police informant aspect of it, yeah? Lambeth Social Services allowing 10-year-olds and 11-year-olds and 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds to turn up on their watch, on their patch, when they had a duty of care, and they never did anything about it. These are the things that I want to talk about on our live. I want to talk about community solutions. And right now, we got our brothers galvanizing behind us. Our brothers are not silent anymore. I've been having conversations in the background, yeah? We will stamp this out. We need to squeeze this bump in our community, brothers and sisters. I'm so fired up today with the things that I've been reading. And because I was off for a few days and decided, you know what? I need to pay attention to my life and my children and what I need to be doing, yeah, for myself. So I took a couple of days out around my birthday. And the deluge that I've come back to It's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And I've been asked to stop these videos. I've been asked to stop these videos by several entities and people for very different reasons and agendas. And what I'm saying here today, yeah, I ain't stopping nothing. Let me tell you that. This bump will be squeezed. And this nastiness in our community, if we can't stamp it out, then we're going to ton it out. We are going to expose it and take it out of the dark corners and hiding places where it has thrived for so long, my brothers and sisters. It's too much already. And the women, the women that assisted these men, whether by default, by fear, by love, however it was, we need to, look, we need to talk about the crimes of those women in a truth and reconciliation moment, because a lot of these women were victims themselves. You people turned these women, yeah? You beat them into submission when their grandfathers and their fathers had already abused them. Uno man, that's what you did. You Brixton, man, let's stick with Brixton for now. As I said, I'm going to widen it out into the community because it was going on everywhere. And it was imported, yeah? In our experience, along with the Windrush. That's what was going on. And we need to start talking about it. We don't want to be silent anymore. Yeah? We don't want to be silent anymore. The sisters don't want to accept that they had relationships with an individual when he was 30 and she was 12. That cognitive dissonance, that Stockholm syndrome is coming off. The veil is coming off. And all you mothers that denied these women, that didn't believe them when they were children, that wanted to support your men instead, support the fathers and the grandfathers and your husbands and your boyfriends and your baby fathers, and weren't listening to your daughters. Yeah? We know why. We know why you couldn't listen, because you were in your own pain. These men took some of you. If I talk about rats victims specifically, they took some of you and they turned you into crack fiends so that they could get access to your gal picnic. That's what they did, and breed the child up while they were beating you and giving you crack. It's time to speak out, my sisters. Yeah? The legacy of that we see, where we had these mothers in the 80s and the late 70s, right through the 80s into the 90s. Yeah? Destroyed by this sexual abuse in our community. What happened to those children? A lot of those children grew up in care in places like Ebony House, where they were further abused by the same men that had put their mothers on crack. I was one of the young activists that warned against it at the time. I wrote poems about it at the time with my young self. Yeah, I said to Uno, you man them that were out there peddling crack in the community, we said to you that it would end like this, that the boys would be chopping up their one another, gangs would come onto the streets. Why? Because we had been to America and seen the impact of crack over there. When many of you were hustling and doing what you were doing in the community, some of us were actually activists back then, saying, please stop this. You were the same age as us. We were 18, 19, 20, 21 years old when it first started licking, 16, 15, when it first started licking. And we warned you that it would get to this. But you allowed the British government to use you for the love of money. Yeah? You allowed that to happen for the love of money. And it has destroyed our community. It has left behind broken women. It's left behind angry children, and we have to prick this bubble. It's no point us having conference after conference and meeting after meeting talking about solutions when we're not getting to the root of the problem. It doesn't work like that. When you go to the doctor, brothers and sisters, and you say to them, doctor, I have a headache. Yeah? What does the doctor do? Does he suddenly start having a conversation with you about that day when the headache started? No, he goes back in the history, in the genealogy of that complaint. That's what he does. And he starts to ask you salient questions. When did it start? How long have you had this headache? Is there a family history? Yeah? We cannot solve the problems in our community until we reel it back to the grandfathers. And even beyond that, to the plantation. And know why it is we stay the way we stay. Why it is that black women are still suffering. Why it is that black men have taken over from the slave master and are giving us the same treatment, beatings, rapings, paedophilia. All those things that have affected us in those days are still being perpetrated on us by black men to us as your mothers, your sisters and your daughters. It's got to stop, and it stops today. I've had enough of it. When I started this thing, I thought it was just about rat. But now we're hearing so many men. It is insane. It's coming like a crazy movie. So many of our brothers and our grandfathers, really, yeah? Our grandfathers, these men are grandfathers now. This is what they were doing in their youth. And then the youth now have been doing this in the estates and in the so-called ends of now. Yeah? So the granddaughters are now suffering and the cycle just keeps continuing. I need you to join me on this live. Yeah? I want to talk about Victor Lindsay, Eamon Edwards. I'm going to repeat it again. I want to talk about Celoid. I want to talk about all of the people that I mentioned on the last live, because we will come to a solution. And if we don't get justice through the system, we will get it through our own means. And I mean that by saying that we will shine a spotlight on these people so that they don't feel able to raise up their self in the community and bad up the place the way that they have been. Your day is done. His time is up. Sisters, don't feel no shame no more. Don't feel the embarrassment no more. Yeah? You are not accountable. Even the mothers that wanted to deny and do the things that they did, I understand your pain, my sister. Come out and put an end to this. I'm asking you for that. Let's have a community conversation together here at Afro Rose 69 on Instagram on July the 12th at 7 p.m. British GMT time. Let us do that and stamp out this nastiness in our community. All the problems that we've ever experienced has been down to this one thing. I guarantee you, I have a whole thesis on that. Agree or disagree, yeah? I will prove to you how that is the case. And I know what I'm talking about because I study early childhood trauma. And when you're talking about a child from 0 to 7, I will give you the adult. So deny it as you will. And also, I want a special conversation before I go. I know this one's running on long, but I want a special conversation before I go. I need you to come back here, Elder Buzzer. Elder Buzzer, come back right here. Yeah? Because with the boldness that you came, because we need to have a conversation and you need to answer a few salient questions, Brother Elder. That's what you need to do. And the usual open invites remain for Rat and Pepper and whoever else wants to come in here and clear their name. Don't DM me and try to do it on a private. Come on the live and clear your name. That's what I'm saying to you. Because we're moving as a village today. We are moving as a village today, and black women will no longer be silent. Yeah? We are the mother, creator, goddess creation of all of this. We gave birth to you. And right now, we are speaking out, and his time is up. Remember the live, my brothers and sisters. I'll see you there. Blessed love.